Hello and welcome to Just One More Watch. If you're new here, my name is Jody, and if you enjoy the video, I would enjoy it if you would hit the big button with the word subscribe on it. Now, I haven't actually made a price-based collection video in years, so I thought I would remedy that situation today by giving you 4 different 5-piece collection suggestions at $500 US, $1,000 US, and $2,000 US, selecting mostly big mainstream brands and also a $2,000 Microbrand only collection that highlights just how good the micro scene currently is. I've chosen the same 5 categories of watch in all 4 collections, so 1 dive watch, 1 dressy style watch, 1 chronograph, a beater watch, and a bonus watch. A cheeky little something extra, something a bit fun. I'll leave links to everything today in the order that I show them in the description of the video as usual. And I'm going to give myself, as usual, a 10% margin on all prices as well. Let's see how I go with that when we total up the collections. All right, the first price point, undoubtedly the most challenging one, $500 US. Let's start with the dive watch then, and it's an old channel favorite, that being the Orient Kamasu. Now, these are available for $199 US in either green or red from Joma Shop. I appreciate that's 2/5 of the budget gone today already, but it's well worth it for what is a contemporary classic. That's an in-house automatic movement with day-date complication. Crucially, the Kamasu has sapphire crystal, so your watch will stay in great shape for years, even if it's your daily wear piece. It's a good size at 41mm, not too big, not too small. It has plenty of water resistance, as a diver of course it should have, and decent lume for 24/7 practicality. It's a bit of a shoe-in for the dive watch slot in an affordable collection. Next up, it's another shoe-in, the dressy style watch, the Orient Bambino. I know I talk about this watch a lot, but really, they look so much more expensive than their modest price tag suggests. Having said that, they're not as cheap as they used to be, but you can still pick one up on eBay or Amazon for $150-ish, so long as you're not fussy about the color choice. These black version 2s though are pretty good, I gotta say, and the Bambino can equally perform the role of your daily watch if you don't fancy wearing the Kamasu in that role. Now, it's a bit of an outlier in the chronograph slot, but it's so good and it's so affordable that it kind of had to be here. It's the Militado military chronograph. Now, prices on these do vary over the course of the year, but you'll find a code in the description to take it down to $79 US. That's the most you'll pay. And look at how nice this watch is for that price. It has a Seiko movement, sapphire crystal, it's got that whole 1960s military look absolutely nailed, and it even comes on a decent strap. And you can pick from date or no date versions depending on your preference. I was thrilled to find a watch this good for this little money, and I'm sure that you will be too. Moving on, it's the beater watch slot. You know what's coming. It's a Casio G-Shock. Of course it's a G-Shock. It's the classic square G, the DW5600. Currently available on Amazon for $54. I would argue the square G is as iconic a watch design as anything from the big Swiss luxury brands, and a damn sight more accessible than a Submariner or a Speedmaster. And then watch 5, the bonus. As long as you're not fussy about colour choice, you can pick up a fun and funky Armitron Griffy for under $28. These retro cool LED watches are actually far better made than they have any right to be for that price, and they're a perfect, affordable conversation piece for when you're out and about on a Saturday night. So Kamasu, Bambino, Militado, 5600 and Griffy, add that lot up and we are over budget today, but we're still under the 10% allowance, just. And it just goes to show you can put together a really nice little collection over time if you want to do it without going broke. Moving on then to the $1,000 collection, and once again I'm going to start with a dive watch, and I'm going to go a little bit backwards into Seiko's back catalogue from a few years ago, and I'm going to select their King Turtle. So called because unlike other turtles, it has sapphire crystal covering the dial. In my opinion anyway, a must for a dive watch, especially one that costs nearly $400 US. You don't necessarily get a lot for your money with a Seiko, but you get a proven, reliable movement from a Japanese powerhouse brand with 100 years of watchmaking experience behind them. Now, the Turtle is a chunky watch, but Seiko know how to make a chunky watch wear like a much smaller watch, so don't be put off by the size. And the bracelets on these are actually very comfortable, and they feature a diver's extension should the mood take you. Well, that's already made a fair dent in the grand, hasn't it? But don't worry, I've got a beautiful premium automatic Swiss-made big brand dress watch for you for under $300. It's a Hamilton Jazzmaster from Ashford. I bought one earlier this year and I paid just under $300 US for it. And my goodness, look at that thing. It is gorgeous, and it's super slim because it contains effectively a rebadged ETA 2893 that is a premium high beat Swiss made automatic movement. Only problem is, you can't tell it's high beat because the watch only has 2 hands. Oh well, I guess that makes it extra suitable as a dress watch. It really is a stunning looking dial. The strap is comfortable out the box. Talking of boxes, Ashford is a grey market retailer, so you need to check the warranty conditions, and in this particular case, I didn't get the full packaging, but at that price, I didn't care, and I suspect neither will you. Chronograph. Now, there are plenty of affordable quartz chronographs out there, but there is one unicorn on the affordable market, one mechanical chronograph movement, that being the Seagull ST19, as featured in the Seagull 1963. There it is, it's a column wheel chronograph, it's a fascinating movement to watch, and you'll find it in watches costing a lot more than this one. Talking of cost, $120 US will get you one of these on AliExpress. If you're prepared to wait for a sale, they can be found for under $100. Now, the standard model is 38mm with 18mm lug width, but there is a larger 40mm version if you have larger wrists or prefer a larger watch. Undoubtedly, this is the most famous of all Chinese watches and the one that gets the most kudos from collectors. All yours for under $120. Beta time, well, I'm going to shock you again by including a Casio G-Shock, but this time the GA2100 Casio Oak. These are fantastic watches, but the hype surrounding them has well and truly faded now, and as a consequence, you can pick up pretty much any color you like for about $80 US on eBay, certainly no more than $100 for the battery-powered versions. Again, this is a fairly big watch, but it's so slim and so light that even those with smaller than average wrists can still wear it comfortably, and it's stacked full of features because of the Ani Digi dial layout. Just make sure that you buy one when you can see the hands, if, you know, telling the time is important to you. And rounding off this collection with the bonus watch, a bright, colourful Swiss-made watch from a brand that everybody knows. That brand is, of course, Swatch. And just look at what you can get for between, say, $75 and $150 if we're squeezing over the budget again in this category. They are full-size watches, some of them are chronographs, and Swatch have a lifetime battery exchange policy if you take your watch to one of their high street outlets, which is just phenomenal given the modest prices of these things. They'll even clean them up for you at the same time as well. Now, if you do not share my obsession with 90s day glow neon, that's fine. There are a few more sensible options as well. But remember, this was supposed to be the fun bonus watch, and you can't deny that these are a ton of fun. Alright then, $400 for the Seiko, $300 for the Hamilton, $200 combined for the Seagull and the Casio means that if you choose your watch wisely, there's a chance, just a slim chance, that you might end up under budget with a few pennies change from $1,000. A fine selection there, I reckon. Alright, it's time to get serious. We are virtually spending a total of $2,000 US on 5 big brand timepieces. And I'm going to start by blowing over half the budget on the dive watch. I used to claim the Christopher Ward Trident Pro 300 was the best dive watch you could buy for under $1,000. Price hikes and inflation means it now costs just under $1,100, but my thesis has not changed. This thing is awesome, and I'll wager that thanks to the 12 and the Bel Canto, Christopher Ward have got a bit more cachet than they did 5 years ago when I first told you all how good this watch was. You can get it in a number of sizes, but 40mm is my own personal sweet spot. You can get it in a number of colours, but you can't go wrong with a black dial dive watch. They feature a Swiss movement, a great warranty, and CW's signature light catcher case. Well worth the money, well worth blowing a big percentage of the budget on with no fear whatsoever. But that doesn't mean to say we're compromising for the rest of the selections. Far from it. I don't think you're going to be disappointed with my choice of dress watch, because I'm going to suggest you pick up a Seiko Presage. Any one you like really, but my personal preference is the cocktail time, specifically the Irish coffee. Now I am a bit biased because, as you see, I have one of these and I love it. Talk about a watch that looks far more expensive than the price tag. These do cost $330 though, but my god, look at that dial. It's subtle, but it's stunning because it's subtle. Again, reliable movement that's easy to service or replace. However, it's only mineral crystal with this one though, so do be careful if you treat your watches roughly. And if you don't like this one, you'll find another 20 Presage cocktail times in all different flavours, all for similar money. Now my chronograph choice at this price point is an affordable classic, dead set classic, but it does come with a caveat. It's the Bulova Lunar Pilot. A fabulous chronograph with a fabulous backstory. This watch has genuine lunar provenance, having made it to the surface of the moon at one point in the early 1970s. It features one of Bulova's high frequency, high accuracy quartz chronograph movements, and it looks sensational. It is super legible thanks to its black and white colour scheme, and it's really affordable, coming in at under $400 US. This one actually shipping from Australia. We seem to get great prices on these for some reason. The catch is it wears big, like a little bit too big for the average size wrist. Unfortunately, I have tried, and like so many before me, I have failed. But fret ye not, there is a smaller, in inverted commas, Lunar Pilot available now. It's only a little bit smaller though, but it is available in a bunch of funky colours. It is also, however, $100 or so more expensive, so make sure you try on the OG first and see if your wrist and your eyes can handle it. Alright, beater watch, and I think that you know what I'm gonna pick. And you're right. I'm going to pick another G-Shock. I'm going to pick what I think is the ultimate square G if you live in North America or Europe, that is. That being the GWM 5610, whatever it says in the corner of the screen. Now the reason I say this one is best for Europeans and North Americans is because it features multi-band 6 atomic timekeeping as well as solar charging. Sync once and live happily ever after. And really, there's no point spending big money on a watch you're gonna wallop. These can be found for less than 120 US if you shop around for it. And it looks fantastic. There's just enough colour on the dial with that red to keep it interesting. I love square Gs. That should probably be obvious by now. Alright then, the bonus watch, and for this big money, big brand selection, I thought about a collab, something that combines a big brand with something a bit fun and frivolous, a cultural icon perhaps, and I found a Timex X Peanuts 75th anniversary watch that I think looks fantastic. Even if you didn't grow up watching Snoopy and the Peanuts cartoons, there is something decidedly delicious about a dog on your dial whose arms help you tell the time. It also happens that the Timex Marlin is a pretty cute little watch in its own right that can be worn very comfortably casually. It's not exactly a spec monster, but then again, Timex aren't charging the earth for this one. The best price I could find was $140 from a US retailer. So then $1,100 plus $330 plus $380 plus $120 plus $140 equals only a little bit over the self-imposed budget for this category. Alright then, Microbrands, 5 watches, $2,000, and I'm going to start with a decidedly retro dive watch and dress watch before moving into some seriously quirky choices for the chrono, the beater, and the bonus. That's the great thing about micros, there are so many available, you can go in any direction you like. Starting with a dive watch then, I finally got my hands on a Laurier Neptune last year, and I thought it was a really solid, well-resolved all-rounder. Perfect size for a vintage dive watch, it's very pretty, and it has acrylic crystal covering the dial, so it has a beautiful warm look to it. Now this isn't going to be for everyone, I appreciate, but you can polish the crystal if you scratch it, so don't worry about that. And at $499, I thought that price was very fair considering how accomplished an all-rounder it is for the money. Now, my dress watch choice is the most expensive of the 5 actually, coming in at just under $700 US, but it does have one extra feature. It's the Vario Empire GMT, and there's a clue in the name, of course. This is a beautiful little dressy piece, also retro in style, but with the added utility of a 4th GMT hand. It's a really classy looking little watch, made in Japan this one. Indeed, it is undoubtedly the classiest thing in this whole picture. You can get these in 4 different colours and pretty much pick your own colour of high quality leather strap as well. Alright then, let's get quirky with the other 3, and for my chronograph I have chosen an American micro, the Brew Metric. This is one of these watches that has got a bit of traction in the mainstream. It pops up occasionally on the wrist of people who could afford to buy and wear anything they want, and yet they want to wear the Brew Metric. Quirky and colourful asymmetric design, just under $500 US, and they are fun and they are funky, according to Hodinkee at least. What about a Microbrand beater watch? Is there even such a thing? Well, yes, now there is, and it's by Singaporean Micro that specialises in titanium watches, RZE. They just launched a new titanium digital watch, and they're available for $169 US on an elastic strap, which, although I appreciate, is a lot more than you need to spend on a G-Shock, which will arguably take more of a beating. I think that's still a great price for something with the specifications and the looks of this one. 3 different colours are available. I really fancy ordering one of these in black for myself. Now, the bonus watch. I haven't actually reviewed one of these, and I'll be honest, I wouldn't expect heirloom quality. These are decidedly in the novelty watch camp, but as long as you know what you're getting, that's okay. And it's another micro watch that has broken into the mainstream. It's a Mr. Jones. Now, because it's a novelty, I would suggest you buy the cheapest that you like, and they offer plenty coming in at £195, so about $250 US. They have models for cat lovers, for minimalists, for nihilists, and for philosophers, and a few more light-hearted designs if you don't quite fit into any of those other categories. So, Laurier, Vario, Brew, RZE, and Mr. Jones. Over budget, but not by that much, only about 5% or so, and what a thoroughly fun and thoroughly interesting selection of timepieces. So there you have it. I am not suggesting for 1 minute that you have to buy all or even any of my recommendations, but hopefully that lot will give you some food for thought today. Part of the fun of watch collecting is not just buying individual watches, but building a collection, buying pieces that play a specific role and fulfill a specific need. And once again, videos like this show you that you can have a lot of fun in this hobby without going bankrupt. If you're in the mood for more collection style videos, why not check out either of these 2? Thanks for watching this one. I'll see you again in the next one.